Hey, how's it going? My name is Jake Thomas, aka Matt McGuire.
And I'm Davida Williams, aka Claire Miller.
And welcome to Living Lizzie, a very McGuire podcast. A podcast where Davida and I talk about a show that we did when we were like real little kids, and then I did again in like 2019 for a couple weeks.
And each week we'll go through a different episode of the series, talk about our on-set experiences, and even how it relates to today.
I had forgotten that Claire had a last name.
Yeah. Miller.
When was that established?
I honestly don't know. I just remember that it was always on the call sheet as Claire Miller. But I don't think, oh, you know what? In between a rock and a bra place, I had a mother named Miss Miller.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay, there you go then. That's what it is. Do you remember auditioning for the show?
I actually do.
Okay.
Yeah, we had to go to Renmar Studios, which is now Red
Studios.
I think it was just one session, like one producer session, casting session. And it was during the time where everyone, would wait in a waiting room and everyone that was auditioning against you and everybody looked so different, I remember thinking, for the role of Claire.
Mm-hmm.
And then I do remember when I ended up booking it, I was really surprised because I remember everyone was rehearsing with their moms in the hallway and everyone sounded really good and I was very nervous. So I think, booking it for me, I was like, oh, okay.
See, it's always the auditions that it's like, I'm not going to get that.
It's the ones you don't care about. Yeah.
That's the ones you get.
Mm-hmm.
I hate when that happens.
I know.
So your audition was at Renmar.
Yes.
Which, Red, like you said, it's Red Studios now. Mm-hmm. That's Red Camera. Yeah. That's there's, if you don't know, there's a line of cinema cameras that's relatively new. They basically brought in like the digital revolution of cinema filmmaking on digital cameras. But yeah, that's their headquarters now, which is so weird. But the original place, that was where they filmed that's where they filmed like I Love Lucy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they filmed I Love Lucy, the Andy Griffith Show as well. It was all like on Renmar Studios, which is kind of cool.
Know that.
Yeah. I remember auditioning for it, and it was a very long and drawn out process. We were at Disney, like down in Toluca Lake, the big tower, and I think I came back maybe 5 times.
Oh my gosh.
And I think a couple of those times it was at different offices too. Like I remember like for one callback, like my parents weren't available. They like a family friend had to take me to the callback, but it was like down in like, no, it wasn't Larchmont. It was, remember those casting offices that like it's the long office buildings like in Santa Monica. Yeah. Really, I can't remember where
I had an agent in that office.
Yeah. So for whatever reason, one of the callbacks was there.
All the way there.
Which I don't know why. Maybe Stan Rogo had an office or something there. But yeah, and I remember the last audition was on the 21st floor at Disney, at the Disney Channel building. And it was like they were just bringing us in to like mix and match.
I was going to say, did you have to match up with the family and all of that?
Yeah,
cool.
Many, many times. And I think the final time they did have all of us together, the 4 of us. It was just the family together. I remember I just like cracking jokes. I was like 9 and I was just cracking jokes the entire time in between.
You had a lot of fun.
I was basically just being me.
Yeah, you had a lot of
the
fun.
The whole time, yeah.
I watched a couple episodes this week and was like, he looks like he's having the time of his life.
100%.
Yeah.
Like literally every week was me just getting to do like, oh, hey, what's the crazy fun thing that I get to do this time?
Yeah.
It was basically a 9-year-old boy's dream.
Yeah, it seems like it would be.
Yeah, it was such a weird thing looking back on it, like, the auditioning process. Because I hate now auditioning as an adult. Yeah. As a kid, I was like, this is great. I'm going to meet new people. And I'm like, now it's like, I don't want to meet new people.
It's so strange how you grow up and you start hating it more and more. Yeah. Now we have self-tapes and I'm like, yes, I just want to do this from home.
It's so good.
I want to do this from home.
Legitimately. And I have friends who are like on Instagram constantly posting like, we need to stop this self-tape thing. We need to be back in the offices of casting directors and stuff.
I'm like, what did you like about that?
Yeah.
The traffic?
Yeah, seriously.
I don't understand. understand.
The stress, the sitting in the office just waiting in silence for me to go in there, and then like hearing other people reading the same thing.
Hearing people sitting next to someone who looks exactly like you.
Yeah. Or what's worse is sitting next to someone who looks nothing like you. I was like, I don't know where they're going for this.
That was my Lizzie audition. Everybody looked so different, and that's why I was shocked. I was like, well, I don't know what they want. So
I think I had one audition in recent times that was in person, which is so weird now. I feel like where I was like, do I still bring a headshot?
Yeah.
I don't think I do.
I don't think
that's a thing anymore.
No.
Because we'd always have an 8x10 of just our face, which is a really weird thing to do.
It's a very strange.
Because you're going and parking somewhere, and then you get like walk a block with just holding a picture of yourself.
Yeah. And it's funny, casting directors used to like chew you out if you didn't have that photo of yourself. Like they couldn't look it up. Or, but now nobody has those.
Oh, technology. Technology. So we never really had scenes together.
No.
Because I mean, it makes sense because like the whole show was formatted in like A story, Lizzie at school and everything and her friends, and then B story, Matt and the parents doing whatever's going on. And I guess there's a bit of strategy to that too, because we're kids.
Yeah.
And there's a finite amount of time that we're allowed to be on set and working. So I think what they would do, they would just like trade off like back and forth, because like we'd have to go to school and stuff. So like they'd do like all the stuff with the kids at school, and then they'd go and do the stuff with like me and the parents, and they wouldn't have to worry about like, oh, well, you know, Jake has to be gone after 6 hours.
I was just going to say, I was trying to think in my head, how many hours can a 9-year-old legally work?
Like not very long. Not very long.
Yeah.
I directed a commercial for like Blue's Clues a year or two ago where we had a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old, and it was like, we got like an hour.
We have like 30 minutes, and they
and we gotta go. That's it. Wow. It's like you get what do you get. And so much of like actually being a kid actor and working with kids is like just making your day,
making it work. I mean, when I started I was about 13, so I couldn't work a full day yet either. I had to do school,
which is good. I mean, it's for our protection and everything.
They have those slots.
And then once you get older though, to like a certain point, you're like 16, 17, they're like, are you emancipated or do you have a GED? Like that would be the casting notes, which means like you can work adult hours.
I was one of those.
I had a GED too. I got mine at 16. It's just the thing that you'd have to do. The emancipation route, it sounds very weird on paper. It's like, I'm going to go to court and say that, I'd like to be emancipated from my parents so I can be an adult.
I remember suggesting that one time to my mom, and she was like, are you... She was like, are you crazy?
Yeah.
No, you're not like divorcing me.
So strange. I don't know if they still do that.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
I don't.
Because I don't hang out with many 17-year-olds.
I don't hang out with a lot of children, but I don't really think that kids are doing that much anymore.
Yeah.
I think there is a lot more laws in place too, where your money is protected, and there's a lot of these kids, I feel like, we're saying like, I have no money. I worked all these years and I have no money, and because my family spent it all. So I think that was the impetus for it. But I think there's maybe more protection. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, in summary, we never had scenes together.
No.
Like, because Matt never really went to the school except for like 1 or 2 episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, Matt had no reason to be at Lizzie's school, or hanging out with anyone there. And then did Claire ever go over to the McGuire house?
No, I never went to the house. I ran into her at the mall.
Okay.
But I was mostly at the school.
Just mostly at the school.
In that hot wool cheerleading outfit.
Okay, so this episode is rumors. Basically what happens is Miranda accidentally messes up on the AIM instant messenger, which is a great just timestamp for the times. I miss AIM.
I do too.
Really do. But yeah, she smashes on the keyboard and it just somehow sends a note that Kate stuffs her bra to everybody on the school roster, which I don't know how exactly
that would happen.
But it's fine. It's great. We're going with it for, we'll suspend disbelief there. But Yeah, so the rumor happens, and then it becomes a huge feud between Kate and her crew and Miranda, because Miranda takes the blame for Lizzie.
Her friend. I know. I want to say that it's like Lizzie and Miranda were such a testament to true friendship, because there were other episodes I watched where Lizzie took the blame for Miranda, and they really had each other's back. It was sweet.
But there's plenty of moments in between where like they would betray each other, but they would always make up in the end.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good lessons about friendship, I feel like, in the show in general.
Lizzie did throw her under the bus a bit in this episode.
Little bit.
In this episode.
Yeah, for sure. And then what is Matt up to on this one?
Is he faking sick?
No.
No.
Matt has the class lizard.
Oh, yeah.
Lizzie the lizard. Matt has the class lizard, and he's taking care of it at home, and the parents accidentally kill the lizard.
Oh, no. Was it a real lizard?
No.
Oh, okay. No. I wondered that when I was watching.
They don't have a budget for that. Are you kidding me? No. Yeah, that would be awful. Did you have a class pet?
No, I didn't have a class pet, but I did one time bring in these like worms that I found to class to show the class. Okay. Yeah, I found these big like green caterpillars in my backyard, and I actually didn't tell anyone, and I like
snuck them into
class, but then forgot, and the teacher was like, "What are all these green things crawling around the classroom?" Escape. But that's my only class animal show and tell story.
I remember in first grade we had a bunny, a class bunny that they would just let run around and just poop everywhere. I can distinctly remember the smell. And I also remember trying to pet the bunny one time, and it like bit me pretty hard. And I'm like, well, looking back on it, you can't really blame a bunny in a first grade class.
I was going to say, with all those kids, I feel like they don't do that anymore.
Yeah, they probably don't.
Bringing in animals.
Yeah, they probably don't.
A bunch of kids.
Do you remember filming that episode?
I do actually, because at the end, we do this dance dedicated to Lizzie where we call her a huge loser.
Right.
And it's this whole cheer.
Yeah.
And we actually had to rehearse it at Millennium Dance Studios with like a choreographer and dancers. And everybody was like, all the people behind Kate and I were like trained real dancers.
No pressure on y'all.
It was just us with the no coordination. And but it was so fun because at that time, Millennium was like Britney Spears rehearsed there, NSYNC rehearsed there. I was like fulfilling my pop star dream. But I was not very good, but it was so much fun.
Yeah. How long did you have to practice that? Was it just one day?
I think it was one full day or something. Not full, but a few hours.
I vaguely remember filming this episode. I think the most I remember is just like the funeral of the lizard in the backyard.
Yeah.
And they actually have like a really fun shot where it's like the POV from the grave.
Yeah.
Kind of super morbid, but also like it's a nice looking shot.
Yeah.
It's weird, the memories, like rewatching a lot of this stuff. It's weird, like the memories that I still have
that pop up. Yeah.
And then others where it's like, I don't remember this at all.
There's an episode that Kyla Pratt is in.
That's right.
And I convinced myself I wasn't in that episode until I saw a photo of us together. I was like, oh, because I mean, she's really talented and I've known her, but I just thought I didn't work that day.
Interesting. Were you ever at our table reads?
I was.
Okay.
I don't remember them that much, but I remember them vaguely.
Yeah, I remember. So our table reads, because our whole thing would be like we'd film an episode in 1 week.
Yeah.
And it'd be just Monday through Friday. But on Wednesdays, we would do a table read for the next episode for the following week. And then we would do it during lunch. Yeah. So we'd have an extra long lunch on Wednesdays, and we'd go over to the production offices, other side of the lot, and we do a table read where we read the entire episode, and whatever jokes land and like hit really well, they would keep in, and the things that don't, they would rewrite.
Yeah.
But we'd have a bunch of executives. Usually we'd have like an executive or two there too. But I feel like we got away with a lot of jokes looking back on it. That's like, this this wasn't made for kids.
Yeah.
This joke was not appealing to the kids. No one is getting this joke but the adults.
I think that's the thing about Disney, though, is like the whole family can watch it because the kids won't really understand it.
It used to be like that.
Yeah.
It used to be. Not anymore, I feel like.
Okay.
Not anymore. Because like when I did another show after Lizzie much later called Corey in the House. That was the That's So Raven spinoff. And we didn't get away with anything on that show.
Okay.
Like we had so much supervision on that show that I would say, okay, so we'd have like our table read, we'd have like a rehearsal the next day. Cause you like with multicam, you rehearse like 4 days and you film for like a day and a half.
Yeah.
So after all these different like rehearsals and table reads and everything, the jokes would get so watered down and like safe that it wasn't funny anymore. It wasn't funny anymore.
Yeah. That's a lot of sitcoms. It's the rewrite and they rewrite and they rewrite all week until you're like,
we had a ton of freedom. I feel like we just had so much freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly don't even remember a script supervisor, to be honest.
Allison was our script supervisor. How do you forget Allison? I loved Allison.
I guess no one ever like, sometimes they're so crazy about getting the words right. I'm sorry, Allison.
Allison, I've got a bike that's hanging from my ceiling that I don't ride the bike anymore, unfortunately. But on it, I have a little squeaker horn that's a devil head. Allison gave that to me for like my 12th birthday.
Oh my gosh.
And I still have it. Have it. So on the actual message that Lizzie sends, Kate, this is perfect example. Could you do a joke now on Disney about
stuffing your bra? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, even that bra episode was very
for real. Yeah,
a little ahead of its time, a little more advanced, I think. Yeah. But yeah, the stuffing the bra rumor is pretty cruel.
Yeah, really.
It's very advanced, but it's I think that's why Lizzie was such a big show, is because it was so relatable. When I was in middle school and high school, even in Los Angeles, I don't know if you had this at your schools, but there were like school rumor websites that people would where they would post all sorts of rumors about the girls or the guys or who's making out with who and who's doing whatever. And
is it you're talking about LiveJournal? Are we talking about LiveJournal? Because I remember LiveJournal.
It wasn't called Live. There was actually a website called schoolrumors.com.
Really? Okay.
And then you would click on what your school was.
Whoa. Yes, wait, maybe I do remember this.
Yeah. So I just think that this episode in particular was very, you could relate. It was the first episode and everyone was like, oh, that's going on at my school. I guess I can relate to this.
But you said it's the first episode, but technically
not.
It is not the first episode.
There was a pilot.
I
wasn't in the pilot, but I've seen the pilot.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll get to the pilot later, but it's very weird how they did jumble up a lot of these episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was the first episode that was out there and in the public. Do you remember like the first time that you got recognized from the show?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. I do remember though, I got in my dressing room once and I was with my mom and they had given me a bag full of fan mail and I had never gotten that before or seen that or anything. And my mom was in tears. Just, people writing, being
sweet.
Like, I love Claire and you're so beautiful, So I do remember that moment of getting the fan letters for the first time.
Cute.
Yeah. Do you remember your first time being recognized?
I do, because so I'd acted before this, but everything I had been in was like very adult.
Yeah,
like I was in like dramas and stuff like that. It was nothing that like kids were watching, so I was not being recognized,
right?
Like, on the street.
40-year-old man.
Yeah,
hey.
He's like, hey, I remember you. Can I get your autograph? No, but I remember we did these promos, like probably I'd say 1 or 2 episodes into like after the pilot, where they were playing these promos like just right out the gate really fast of like, hey, here's a brand new show that's coming up on Disney Channel. Meet Lizzie and her family. And it's like, I pop up. I was like, hey, I'm here too. Blah, blah, blah. And those promos came out. I was in the 5th grade, which is also very weird because this 5th grade for me was like, I was there like never. because we were filming the show, and like my teacher was having to fax my parents all my homework and classwork. Fax. F-A-X. Yeah. But the days that I was actually at school, I can remember it very distinctly. After those promos came out, at recess, it was like every couple minutes a kid was coming up to me. Hey, are you that one kid from? Aren't you that one kid from? And I remember it so clearly. I was like, this is weird.
Oh, wow.
This is really weird.
At school, that would be strange. You know what it is, too? I was in high school. I was a freshman in high school when I started Lizzie. And it was an all-girls high school. And I don't think anyone was going to be like, oh, I watched Lizzie McGuire.
Yeah. I got you. Yeah.
Too cool for that, by that age.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's so funny that it happened at school.
So weird. Danny Kessler.
The heartthrob.
The heartthrob.
Don't tell Clayton I told you, but he was just my
this
was my number one,
Which is so interesting because the dynamic of this is we had at times Danny Kessler and Ethan Kraft.
As friends on the show.
As friends.
Yeah.
So Danny Kessler, of course, was for a handful of the first season, he was the heartthrob. I mean, like one of the episodes, I think in the pilot episode, they're just talking about him just straight up just like kissing like everybody on the bus, which is kind of weird. He's like, who do I gotta kiss? It's like, it's very strange. Yeah. But he was the original heartthrob, but he didn't show up in any other episodes.
Yeah.
I did learn sadly that he actually had passed away in 2008, I think. I don't know. I guess he just didn't act anymore after so Lizzie. I don't know why.
How old would he have been in 2008?
I'm not sure.
That's so sad. Yeah. And you don't know what happened.
Don't know what happened or anything like that.
And was he acting after Lizzie? Or?
I don't think so. Yeah, not, if he was, not very much. But yeah, I don't know what the reasons were exactly for his departure from the show. I from what like my parents remember, just there was scheduling something like he just didn't have time for the show or something. Maybe he just wanted to focus on school.
Yeah, didn't want to. Yeah,
but it kind of left the show in an interesting position where they had to figure out, okay, well, we still need a heartthrob.
Yeah.
We need like the object of desire for Miranda and Lizzie. So now Ethan Kraft, who was originally watching these first few episodes, Ethan Kraft was like this like goofy kind of like wannabe like b-boy kind of thing.
He was. It was it was like what was that Jamie Kennedy movie, the Malibu's Most Wanted?
That's exactly what he was
when
like.
When I was rewatching episodes, I was like, that's what this is.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
There's the same kind of outfit. Yeah. He's wearing the beanies real low and everything. Yeah, he was exactly like that.
Yeah.
And then they just shifted him. They're like, oh, we need him to actually be attractive.
Girls want to like him.
Right, exactly. So make him goofy still, but like, let's just get rid of the weird clothes. Yeah, let's just make him attractive conventionally. But yeah, Danny Kessler, he was the OG.
He was such a big part of the first season. I'm really sorry to hear that happened. But.
Yeah. Okay. So in this episode, like we said, Miranda and Kate end up being the ones that are the dueling teams here. Some of the stuff that they actually do to each other is actually pretty like.
It is. It's
rough.
It's pretty brutal. It's pretty brutal. It kind of like reminded me a little bit of in summer camp. Kids would kind of, they'd give you a cookie with toothpaste inside it or something. But this was like another level of that.
She dyed Kate's hair green.
Like, and for a blonde, that's
a big deal.
Rough.
Like that I feel like that's like. I feel like that's a felony.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's assault.
And she was pretty, she didn't really care. She was like, well, I have color in my hair. Welcome to the club. Yeah. Kind of flippant about it.
Yeah, I know.
Not very sorry.
Gosh, and what did Kate, the ultimate thing that Kate did was just, we're singing Ugly song about you, which that's still far more steps down than dyeing your hair
green, yeah.
I think I would not mess with Miranda at all.
That was kind of
I would have. If I was Kate, I would have backed down.
Yeah.
she had she was out of her league on this.
She had no boundaries.
Yeah,
clearly.
For real. So in this episode though, and it is the first episode, Claire's pretty mean too.
Yeah.
Claire's got a lot of attitude.
Yeah, she was relentless, I realized.
Yeah.
Like telling them, oh, Danny Kessler wants to talk to you, and then laughing from behind, just watching the whole interaction happen. Yeah, it's pretty cruel. These girls are pretty cruel.
That's a great introduction to Claire.
I know. My very first scene, really.
Yeah. I had read somewhere, these are not my words.
Okay.
I've read somewhere that described Claire's character as very one-dimensional. What is your rebuttal to that?
Maybe I had a big backstory to why she was so cruel,
but she wasn't always cruel, though. She was not always cruel.
I know. She
wasn't
always cruel. I mean, maybe that's why they called me one-dimensional, because she was pretty mean like every episode. She even turned on Kate at one point when Kate got an injury.
That's one episode. Right.
Yeah, she was like, "You can't even sit with us at lunch." Like she was very relentless in her cruelty and her bullying.
Jeez, now that you mention it, yeah. Did she have any redeeming moments?
They weren't written, I don't think. In my mind.
Jeez. I feel bad for Kate now.
I know. But she was smart. She ran for class president.
That's right.
She was but she wasn't very nice.
All right. Her one dimension is just meanness.
Yeah.
Don't mess with Claire.
Yeah.
All right. So with all of the school scenes and everything, I like I said, I didn't have any scenes really at school that much, so I wasn't around a lot of the other students on set. But the majority, it seems like, rewatching it too, of our background student characters, like they're borderline adults.
Yeah, I think they were mostly adults.
And that's just because otherwise it would be very hard to have them as background, because the hours, like we said, the working hours.
Yeah, they have to be there all day. I did have one friend who I'm still friends with. Shout out to Kimberly Ness, but she was one of the cheerleaders who would cheerlead with us.
Yeah.
And she's only like a couple years older than me, but for the most part, yeah, everybody was just an adult. Yeah.
I mean, it's a whole industry. It's pretty much like, hey, do you look pretty young? Can you shave and look even younger? Like, hey, we got a job for you.
I mean, we could, if you shaved, you 100%, could maybe be in the back 100%. Of a high school.
I can be in the background. Yeah. Give me a beanie and maybe a b-boy outfit, and I could definitely settle into that character. That'd be great.
One thing I wanted to talk about was the fashion in Lizzie. I feel like the show was so fashion forward, and now we're at this point where it's come full circle and everyone's dressing like they're on Lizzie McGuire.
Yeah, like literally there are mood boards of like inspo for outfits, and it's all butterfly clips.
Yeah.
It's all like Elaine's hair is like at the top of the list. I feel like the list.
Sometimes I look at like, you see a paparazzi photo of like Bella Hadid, and I'm like, that looks like Lelaine.
Yes. and now apparently there are like dupe Target shoes of like animated Lizzie.
Oh my gosh.
Have you seen this?
No.
Okay, I need to pull this up.
Yeah, please show me.
It's people are like going out and grabbing it and being like, I'm finally able to be animated Lizzie.
That's so cool. Yeah, it's even shows like Euphoria, I feel like it's just a little older version of Lizzie with the clothes.
Look at these at Target.
Oh my gosh. Those are kind of cute.
$40.
Those are kind of cute.
There's one left in stock. If you would like it, there is one left in stock.
I bet it's not my size. I have very large feet.
Okay, what size?
I'm a 9.
They got an 8.5.
Oh, well, it's not too far off.
It's not too far off.
Well,
they're sold out on every other size.
It's so crazy.
Wow.
I bet you it's like a TikTok thing,
Oh, it has to be.
It's probably on TikTok.
Yeah, for sure.
I sound like such an elderly person. It's probably on TikTok.
They literally have every single size available in white.
But they want the
orange,
Lizzie one.
The orange are...
That is so crazy to me. Wow.
I feel like I need a pair.
It's the Lizzie fashion. It was really ahead of its time. I was wearing butterfly clips and animal prints and bright colors, neon and all of that.
It definitely is a true timestamp of the era with just the clothing and the style and also the things, the pop culture references that are being made in this show are like, wow. Man, I haven't heard those names in a long time.
Britney Spears. I think they mentioned Justin Timberlake at the end of this episode as well. Yeah. A lot of throwbacks.
I wonder too if like Gen Z that's now watching this, if they're missing out on like half of the fun with the references.
I know. Even the AIM stuff. That was I missed that. I remember being a kid and like sneaking into the adult chat rooms just to see what's going on.
Wow.
I was like, what is this? And then I'd be
like a predator's dream.
Seriously.
Jeez.
Now that I know how dangerous it is.
Anyway.
Time.
AIM is that was basically the Instagram of today or TikTok of today. That's where we got our entertainment and our drama was just talking on AIM.
I think that's the only thing I really did on the internet because it was fairly new. Yeah. And I wasn't like on the internet like I was. I'm not on the internet now like I was back then.
Do you feel like, did you have like set times that you were only allowed to like be on the computer?
Yeah, we had one computer.
Okay.
And it was downstairs. Yeah. And then, I wasn't allowed to be on it very much.
When did you get your own computer? How old were you?
It was definitely like towards the end of high school, I think, because my cousin had one of those Macs. What were they called?
Which ones?
The big round plastic ones.
The eMac or the iMac, the original iMac?
She had like a big green computer.
It's the original, one of the older iMacs.
Yes.
Yeah,
I was so jealous of those.
Cool.
Yeah.
It was like a CRT tube TV kind of. Yeah.
It looked like a little television.
Yeah.
And I wanted one of those really bad. So I think it wasn't until after that I got mine.
Okay.
When did you get your first computer?
I remember my first computer, I was maybe 13.
Oh, okay.
I think that was my 13th birthday present to myself. Was I bought an Apple. I bought a PowerBook G4.
Oh wow, that's pretty advanced.
Oh yeah, it's 17-inch screen. It was massive. And I remember going on AIM. Yeah, and actually I remember being on AIM. I was always talking to, or not talking to. I was always bugging Mae Whitman.
I love Mae Whitman.
Mae Whitman's amazing, but they filmed State of Grace, the soundstage next to us.
Oh my god!
At Bryn Mawr, and that's where I met Mae. And I guess I got her AIM, and I basically would just talk her ear off about Apple computers.
That is so funny. I wonder if that's because I've known her for so long.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
That might be why. That's probably why.
That's so funny.
Yeah. That was a great show too, State of Grace.
It was a great show.
Oh, that was on ABC Family, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone sent me a photo of Mae and I recently, and we had gone to the movies together. And we were very young, and I just remember being like, "Wow, I've known her for a while."
She's so talented.
No idea how.
I saw she has a new series coming out too.
Very talented.
What's her new series that's coming out too?
I don't know.
It's a musical.
Oh, cool.
Called Up Here.
Up Here.
Up Here. Is it a movie or is it a show? Okay, we have to watch it then. Someone else is doing a podcast. Okay. Oh no, it's a movie.
Oh,
it's
cool.
It's a Hulu musical movie.
Oh, I'm excited.
About she has or voices in her head.
Oh wow.
That are constantly talking to her.
Wow.
It's a romance.
Oh, cool. Wow.
Yeah.
That's going to be cool. Yeah. That'll be interesting. Oh, speaking of AIM, something clicked in my head. In this episode, they talk about Buffy. They mentioned Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Oh my God.
And I remember rewatching the episode and being like, oh my God, my hero. My AIM screen name was Buffy Girl.
Was it really?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I don't know if I should be revealing that.
Well,
But that was the screen name.
unless you still use it.
No, definitely not.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know what my original.
Yeah. What was yours?
I remember my very first AOL email address was Pokemon with like 7 O's.
Oh my God.
That was my first one. And then it was I liked the car, the Viper car. I had a poster of like a Viper in my room. So I was like, Viper for you. That was my next one.
For you.
Yeah, for you, for me.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, I don't remember past that. I think past that it maybe gets a little too close to stuff I still use.
Yeah. I just remember Buffy Girl.
Yeah.
It's like my big one.
Nice. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Haven't thought about that in a while. I want to talk about something that was or became very unique to the show and just a hallmark feature of the show, which is bloopers.
Yes. I am so sad that no one really does that anymore.
It's so great.
It used to be my favorite part of watching TV. Was
Same.
like at the end of a comedy, you get your bloopers.
Yeah.
You see everyone mess up and laugh and trip and and yeah, the bloopers on Lizzie were so fun.
They were super fun. And it always, I feel like it made us, I don't know, more relatable.
Yeah.
In a way, because like it let the audience see past the veil of like, the movie magic of everything. We were just kids
having fun. Yeah, there's a blooper in the episode when moms attack where Hillary actually puts worms on top of Kate.
Yeah,
she doesn't notice, and then she's like, ah.
Yeah,
and it's just funny. It just shows that we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we really did. All right, so now we have questions from the audience.
Cool.
Okay, so Dami Ward asks, do we still get residuals from the show? Do you still get some?
I do, and they're always like, it'll be like a overseas video or something, and it's like $3.50.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Sometimes I don't even hit $1 or
like the majority of the residuals that I get nowadays, because also I've got like everything on auto deposit.
Yeah, so do I.
So now it's like I don't even know anymore
Every
what
once in
it's
a while
for.
I'll check, but yeah,
because it used to be like you have to take this huge stack of checks every month for residuals over to the bank and deposit them. But it's like the huge stack would be like, oh yeah, this is a massive stack. This is $8.
Yes, and then you'd have to save all those for taxes.
Right, exactly.
These stacks
very
and
annoying.
Stacks of
very
stubs.
Annoying.
Yeah, very very.
But I remember like residuals for the show I would get where it's every single episode, 65 episodes, 65 checks. Each one worth between a penny and 5 cents.
Oh my God.
It's like, great. Cool, fun.
Yeah.
Let me write. They spent more money on the postage than they did actually.
The paper and the envelope.
Yes.
And
It's a racket. It's big check. Big check companies. They're the ones. They're the ones making the money here.
I'm really glad that it's all digital now because
same. A lot of paper waste too.
A lot.
We can be thankful of that. A lot of paper waste not happening anymore. Okay, the Martin Mystery asks, how many episodes did we film a week? We actually kind of talked about this a little bit. It's a Monday through Friday.
An episode a week, yeah.
And we do the table read on the previous week on a Wednesday, but it pretty fast.
Pretty quick. Again, we talked about having all kids on the show, so we didn't work very long hours. It was kind of nice. As an adult, Hallie Todd, and I would love to get a job like that as an adult.
For real.
And get to just,
how easy is that?
You're in there for a few hours a day and
you're like head out.
Yeah.
Of course, Bobby Carradine, who played Sam, the dad, he was living in Santa Barbara during the show. He was driving back and forth from Hollywood to Santa Barbara every single day for 2 years.
That's dedication.
Which is insane.
I would never do that.
I would never do that.
I just got an audition for a commercial that was like, you must be a San Diego local hire. And I was like, I won't even do that for one day of work.
Not even for the residuals on a national commercial. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. But yeah, no, that they had a awesome job.
Yeah.
Like they super easy day. Yeah, you got to work with kids. Oh yeah, I'm done. All right, great.
A
Fun.
parent on a kid's show. That's what I got to look for.
Dream job.
Yeah.
Dream job. But yeah, I feel like too, we did 65 episodes of this show in 2 years.
Yeah, 2 seasons.
That is 2 seasons.
Yeah,
65 episodes. This is insane numbers. That's unheard of.
Insane. I remember when I was rewatching, I saw they broke it up into like volume 1, volume 2 and stuff. And I was like, okay, that makes more sense. But it was 2 years.
Not the way, because I guess the whole thing was too is Disney at the time, and I guess Nickelodeon kind of did this too. There was this ideology of you got to film a show as quickly as possible, as many episodes as quickly as possible, no breaks. That way you can play like an episode from season 1 all the way to the end of season 2, and they don't look super different. The kids. Otherwise they grow up and it's like the reruns are like, whoa.
His teeth are different.
Yeah, he sounds different. Like, this is weird. So evidently that was the ideology. And then That's So Raven was, I think, one of the first shows for Disney, at least, that was like they were breaking over the 100 episode kind of thing. They were going to go for multiple years.
Gotcha. What I do remember about Lizzie is we didn't have long breaks. But we'd get like hiatus every 3 weeks. We'd go like
something like that.
3 weeks on, 1 week off. 3 weeks on, and that was like our vacation.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, they was non-stop there.
Yeah.
Nowadays, for a show, you're lucky if like you get 10 episodes a year.
And yeah.
And then like the rest of the time they're on hiatus.
I know. It's funny talking when I tell people that it was just 2 years, 2 seasons, because they're always like, what?
They're like, oh, I watched that show for years.
Like, you didn't.
I mean, they spread it out.
Yeah.
And they played a lot of reruns. But yeah, that was only 2 years of our life actually filming the show.
It was my freshman and sophomore year of high school.
Wow. So you didn't go to how did school work for you?
I did go to regular school for freshman and sophomore year, actually.
Yeah.
And then at the end of sophomore year is when I got my GED and I started taking college courses.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went to all girls school in Calabasas, and I was absent a lot.
Were they okay with that?
No. No, they didn't like it at all. And I remember being in like a lot of AP classes, and the teachers were just not having it. They were like, you can't just
leave, not be here.
AP. Like,
yeah.
So
it's hard. It's hard doing that.
A lot of pressure.
I ended up doing a thing where it's independent study. Yeah. So it's like a charter kind of school thing that I would go downtown and like they would give me all the course packets and stuff.
Was it called Options for Youth?
It was Options for Youth. That's exactly what it was. Everybody did Options for Youth.
I begged my mom. I was like, please take me out of this all-girls school. Options for... And she was like, no, I'm not doing that. But everybody went to Options
Everybody did that. And then you go in every once in a while and like take a test or exam or whatever. But yeah, I mean, that's just how we did stuff. And then we'd have to actually be at set school. So like you do a block of like at least 20 minutes because like they can't bring you in for like 2 minutes and then pull you back out and go work again. Have to do a block of at least 20 minutes. You have to 3 hours a day.
3 hours. Yeah. Totally.
And you could bank stuff. You could bank.
Yeah, you could do.
That was important.
Yeah.
If like they had a big day coming up later, they would bank stuff, like get more school hours for you on one day so that they could like use that as like credits. It rolls over. It's like an old mobile phone plan.
Yeah.
Like my minutes are gonna roll over tomorrow, right? But
a lot of tricks.
Yeah, and we had that little room that was between all the dressing rooms.
What was the teacher's name?
Which one?
Again?
David?
He had the brown hair.
David?
Yes.
Yeah. David didn't really care about.
No, he didn't. He was pretty.
He was pretty nonchalant.
Yeah.
I remember my parents getting kind of mad at David.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then like season 2, they were like, "We need a different teacher."
Oh my God, that's
like he's not doing like enough work.
That's so funny. I wonder. So that's when we got the new teacher.
Huh? Yeah, they said school is so weird.
It's such a funny concept.
I did Options for Youth for a couple of years because like that like half year of 5th grade was not working.
Yeah.
And then, so I did Options for Youth for sixth grade and seventh grade. And then after the show, I was able to just like go back to like regular middle school for like, which that was a weird experience, just going to a regular school.
I never had to go back after that. Thank God.
Yeah. And then high school again was also kind of like, I was working again too. And it was just kind of weird. At one point, like trying to find, I remember, another school that was like a performing arts magnet or something, like somewhere where like kids that were actually like working were going to, like, hopefully they were a little cool about missing classes. I remember there was this private school that's called Campbell Hall.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
all the kids went there.
All the kids went there. Like the Olsons went there. But like Campbell Hall is also like super expensive. Yeah, it's expensive. Like it's like more than most colleges.
And it wasn't, I remember it wasn't even very nice back in during that time. It was like a bunch of trailers set up.
Really?
And now that's why
now it's been like so hugely remodeled.
Yeah, that's why there was so much construction on Laurel because they fixed it all. But I remember being like, people are paying $50,000 to go here and
crazy amounts of money. We went there and like, you know, checked it out and everything. This is like when I was I guess like right after Lizzie or something. And my parents were like, so like, you know, you've obviously got people here who are working child actors and everything. Are you guys cool with like, you know, missing classes? Are you able to accommodate that? And they were like, nope.
Oh, so interesting.
So we're like, okay, we're not going to go there then.
Yeah, weird. I went to one of those, but before Lizzie. It was called Professional Children's School. And it
Professional Children's School.
It was in New York.
I'm a professional child.
Yeah, exactly. But it was in New York, and all the kids were a lot of working actors. And they had a name for it. Oh, they called it guided study. So when you left, they had like packets to send you of guided study.
All right. I mean, that's simple enough.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Difficult.
Come on.
We saw with the pandemic how many kids
for real.
had to learn at home.
Yeah.
You can learn anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. All right, and this concludes our first episode of Living Lizzie, a Very McGuire podcast. Davida, this is great.
This is so fun.
This is super fun.
Thanks for inviting me to do this.
Yeah, thanks for being a part of this. Yeah. So I think we're going to try to make this a semi-regular thing. So stay tuned for next week's episode. Be sure to subscribe to whatever service this is on. I don't know exactly.
And like it if you can like it.
Yeah,
that's an option.
and tell people about it, because I think we want to make this a regular thing, and to make that possible, we need you guys to spread the word and get this going.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Thanks, guys.